The people travelled far and wide for trade. From Mombasa to Kinshasa, they exchanged goods of great value. Distance meant nothing. They were industrious, reliable, courageous and full of integrity. When the first missionary set his foot in Kenya, Machakos town was his natural capital. The plan also was to have the fast rail line pass there too. Legends arose from this land. They proudly served in the army and travelled as far as Burma, where they fought shoulder to shoulder with the colonial government. They were unmatched in their military prowess and bravery. Some rose to become major generals in the military, while others ended in high ranks in the government. Others served as high court judges or ministers. This was the land of the unsung heroes. Yet the people have remained poor and the land underdeveloped. In spite of Athi and Tana River passing through the county, water shortage is the norm. Only 3% of the population has electricity, despite the fact that Masinga Dam is in this county, generating electricity for the rest of the country. The population is mostly primary school educated, with 68% in primary, 15% in secondary, and only a meager 1% being university graduates. Food is scarce and Molo has become the buzzword every election period. Healthcare is of the lowest standards, with only 1 out of every 2 women delivering in a hospital and 1 doctor for 27,000 residents. Not only that, only 1 of every 2 children is immunized, resulting in high infant mortality. Helpless and hopeless, the people have grown in despair, the leaders' broken promises. While all this was going on, an idea whose time had come was born. One day, Mike Mutungi, frustrated and weary of the politics of the day, could not sleep. One night, he woke up and began typing an idea on his laptop. The idea turned into a book, and finally, like a wave, Kenya Mpya, the movement.
Our vision is to see counties managed like the corporate sector. So if you imagine Machakos County, it will receive about 5.2 billion shillings from the central government. But if you combine that with the other assets it has, the human capital, other fixed asset, it has probably about 200 billion shillings worth of equity. So in that case, you can easily compare Machakos County with Kenya Commercial Bank or Safaricom. So what we envision is that the same process that is required to get a CEO for Safaricom or Kenya Commercial Bank is the same sort of idea that we want to inculcate in selecting governors and other leaders.
In partnership with Machakos County Development Forum, the citizens of Machakos County joined hands and decided to shape their own future.
It's going to be about which county will produce what service and what good at the best competitive rate in order to sell to another county or provide those services to another county.
It all began with a small band of men and women bound for a kindred spirit. They decided that it could be different. They began to develop their own strategic plan. They dared to dream of a better future.
The biggest wealth is not necessarily in the cash, but in the intellectual property, in what the minds of the people have.
From 10 to hundreds, they huddled in small and large groups to reflect on their past and craft their future. The numbers grew as they met in constituencies. From Mwala to Mavoko, Masinga to Machakos, and Kangundo to Kaviani, they carved out their future vision.
Machakos County Strategy Forum is very important because as disability we include towards the development, because in the past we haven't been considered the development.
Getting a strategic plan for the county, I think, will be a very big achievement and a very important tool giving us direction on the way forward as we develop our county.
The people of Machakos have resolved that they are going to move from the third world to first world in 1 generation.
Let's figure out where we want to go as a county. Then after that, let's now begin having a dialogue in terms of who is the best leader to move us from third world to first world in one generation.
They're going to do this by creating wealth. The wealth is going to be created through improving water and sanitation, education, agriculture, livestock, technology, and health.
We had a strategic meeting, a meeting to look at the essential components that we need to incorporate in our strategic plan for the Machakos County, which we envisage as being used by the leaders that we shall elect in March next year to map out the strategy for the county for over the next 5 years.
We have gone out to every constituency, invited their leaders, and we have also learned that it's the middle class that drives development.
Specific targets have been set for the next 5 years. They have decided to vet all their aspiring candidates. These candidates will be interrogated and carefully interviewed. They must demonstrate that they have the character, the competence, comprehension, and the courage to provide the kind of leadership that is required to move them from third world to first world in one generation.
It has given us the opportunity to be able to vet our leaders, who are the people who are going to drive the growth of economy in the county.
With good leadership in place, the future of the county is bright. It is only a matter of time before we see high-class schools, ICT parks, mechanized agriculture, and a developed railway system.
You know what has been the problem in the past is that we've gotten it backward as a country. You see, normally what happens is that we elect the leaders. Then after we elect the leaders, we ask them the question, what are they supposed to do? And that's what we're trying to correct in this situation.
Once we address this, from third world to first, will be 10 years, not one generation, 10 years. There's nothing stopping us.
Meanwhile, what was taking place in Machakos did not go unnoticed by other counties. They too soon joined in, and the 10 Model County Network was formed.
You've only got one childhood and the memory that springs when you see your house, the tree you climbed, and all those precious things. The faces of the friends I had, the images that fall. When I close my eyes in the land I love, the land where I was born.